just gotta pop the County Cycles because I've had a delivery. Alright, we just arrived. It doesn't fit. Okay, so we got the box. I think there's wheels, brake pads, a new bottom bracket. I think that's it actually. Actually, I do want to say, like, County Cycles allow me to do that. Like, I'm really appreciative of that, and you know, they've helped me out a lot over the last, well, definitely over the last few weeks, but you know, they've always helped me out ever since I started bike racing, really. I think you could honestly be forgiven for thinking that I actually rattle around South Wales on a pair of really expensive wheels, but I actually don't. That kind of brings me on to what I really wanted to talk about today, which is how January has gone. It's been a bit of up and down, to be honest. I've had plenty of positives, but also equally plenty of negatives. There's the brake pads. January has gone really well for me, and wait a minute. January went like really well. Like I banked that kind of like, well, the first week was 6,000 meters of climbing. I only trained for 15 hours, and then like the second, third, fourth week, I averaged like 24 hours, and I did like 8,000 to 10,000 meters of climbing in each of those weeks. Done some pretty big days. I think I did a few like definitely did a few 5-hour rides. I did like 1 or 2 6-hour rides. One of them was really awful. Like, that's the thing, like January the weather is usually pretty bad. That's why like half the team go to Australia to race early doors, and then like the rest of us either stay in the UK or we go on a training camp, which is what we're doing next week. But January was similar to last year for me. I think February is going to be a little bit bigger, especially with the training camp falling in February instead of January like last year. But I did pretty much the same this January as I did last January. So that's a bit of fun. Like, those of you who follow me on Strava know that I use it as like you know, let's show you what I do so you can see what I do type of thing. And I always join the challenges every month because it gives like not only like you guys something to see where I am, but also like gives me some kind of like gauge as to how my month has gone. And I always join like the monthly challenges. So January, my climbing challenge, I was actually 10th out of 15,000 people in the UK. And like, read what you want into that, but I think it goes like, I've clicked on each of the people above me, and some of them are training in Spain, some of them are in Mallorca. I know it's the same thing. Some of you are like training abroad. Steve Abraham, okay, he's in third, but like, he's just an ultra endurance beast. But you get the guys further down, and it's like, you know, they ride, they commute to work, and they probably actually do more riding than I do, which is fair play to them. But considering I just live in South Wales, and I feel that that's quite humbling. I'm quite staggered as to how much I actually do rack up in climbing. And then if we look at like my distance, which you'd kind of think suffers because I climb so much, and you know, it's going to offset the whole thing, but it wasn't actually that bad. You know, I was like 14th on the leaderboard out of this was actually 19,000 people entered it, so obviously people prefer riding the distance rather than the climbing. I'm vice versa, if you haven't already picked up on that, obviously. Even Steve Lampier, good job Steve, 11th place. But again, I racked up a total of 39,000 meters of climbing in January, and then a total of like 2,500 kilometers in January. And that's partly why, like I said, like that's partly why I've had to get new wheels. You know, I didn't want to, and loved like a load of brake pads as well. I didn't want to, but it's just what the weather's doing to the bike. And on a serious note, lots of people say to me, stop braking, you're wearing out your brake pads. But it's not just me. Anthony, who comes riding with me, has worn through a load of brake blocks in the past like 2 months. But not kidding, I've been wearing out brake pads like maybe once a week, possibly once every 5 days. And that's just insane. It shouldn't happen, and it's not the brake pads, it's not the wheels, it's just the weather. And if any of you riding this stuff and you don't have disc brakes, I guess this is where disc brakes come into their own, but like you're riding along and the worst sound in the world is when you pull your brake and that noise of aluminium and your brake pad and the worst noise ever. And that's what I've been hearing all winter. It's all been happening in January, so I'm still super pumped that I've managed to get so much training in, so many hours, so much climbing, so much kind of, well, yeah, mileage. I haven't been doing a lot of intensity. That's going to change, hopefully when we come back from our training camp. We're only going for a week, so when I get back I'm going to be doing less mileage, higher intensity, but I guess I'll talk to you about that some other time. I think the important thing to remember is though that I'm not going to be doing both at the same time, so I'm not going to be keeping the intensity right up there and the mileage right up there, because that's probably going to fry me. So what we're going to do is bring the duration down, bring the intensity gradually up, and I'll be okay. I'm still doing zone 3 stuff, so which is kind of middle of the park, what you'd call like a 5 to a 7 out of 10 effort. So I'm not completely lacking form. I've got good fitness, but I do lack top end form. I've done a few 5-minute efforts where I've gone as close as I think is full gas, and I've been pushing about 390 for 5 minutes, which is nowhere near my 440. But like I said, like once you start doing those efforts, it will come back quite quick. But I haven't been doing any of them yet, one or two. But yeah, after that camp, it's all going to change. So we'll see you sometime before then.